gather here in Zoom every every Thursday evening, pardon me, Thursday evening, 5 p.m. Nigeria time. So what you could do at this particular point in time is to send the link, right, to everybody you know, whether in the corporate space or anyone who runs a business. Whatever you do, if you have friends, colleagues from church, colleagues from workplace, friends from church, neighbors and well-wishers, please send them this link and let them be a part of this session this evening. I'll still just go on to read out the housekeeping rules to us. We have quite a few of them. Please ensure that you avoid all forms of background noise wherever you are, especially when you are to speak. Please ensure that there is no background noise where you are. Also do well to use the chat room very, very actively. I mean, when you hear something that resonates with you or something that you're learning for the first time, do well to drop a comment in the chat section. Do well to interact and engage with other participants in the chat room. Also, the use of emojis are allowed. Please go ahead and use your emojis. It encourages our facilitator tonight. Also, do well to mute your microphones when you are not speaking. Another thing you need to take note of is that when you want to speak, you can head over to the participants section and tap on that raise hand icon. Raise hand is what you need to do in order to ask your question, make a contribution, or make a comment. And then you will be unmuted. And as soon as you are unmuted, please unmute yourself from your end, and then you will go ahead to speak. Please try to dress appropriately. We know it's evening on this side. For those driving, try to, keep your attention, just try to divide it appropriately. And also endeavor to minimize your eating, right, in the course of the class. If possible, please do not eat at all. Stay present, stay focused. What we would encourage you to do is to maintain body languages that will encourage the facilitator as he speaks tonight. But before we go ahead to the main subject of today, someone is going to be discussing with us briefly about the subject matter for tonight. And I'm sure we are all familiar, at least to an extent, about what we're going to be talking about tonight. It's how to implement and execute our strategies, right? And I know a lot of us have had a couple of challenges in that area. So the person who will be speaking to us briefly this evening is none other than Pastor Emmanuel Onoha. Is not a strange person in the house. I'll just let him tell you a lot more about his own profile. He's going to be sharing with us briefly his own thoughts and perspectives on pushing the limits of strategies, or something I would call pushing the limits of strategies. So please, together with me, let us make welcome Pastor Emmanuel Onoha. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me clearly, please? Can everyone hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you, but it could be louder.
Okay. Sorry, I actually rushed off from meeting. I didn't quite get an early notification for this. But yes, okay. But I wanted to share a slide and just make it a lot more easier so we can follow up, and my thoughts will be. So what do I do now? Juliet, should I just send it to you, or can I share it from here? Okay. Okay, start share, and what else? Oh, not screen share. Sorry, just 1 minute. So thank you so much. Tonight we will be speaking on. Tonight, me, Adesanya, will be teaching us on pushing the limits of strategy. Very important, very, very absolutely important that we are all here tonight. It's such an important subject in such a time as this. The reason it's so important is because a lot of people have gotten to their wits' end. A lot of people have done all they know, and it still looks like it's not working. A lot of people have done what they've been taught. Things have failed people. All kinds of things have happened in society, and people still are not getting the required result, or the kind of result they wish they could get, or they wish they would get. And because of this kind of disappointment, people are beginning to give up. A lot of people are switching. A lot of people are pivoting. A lot of people are getting frustrated. And when I talk about pivoting or switching, it simply means that people are leaving their core competence and they are beginning to do things that they necessarily do not know how to do. So when such things happen, two things could happen. Is either they lose the business entirely, or the business loses focus for a while. And that's not very good. And that's not what people should encourage in their businesses. Oh, I'm having a little bit of technical challenges here.
But we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, maybe I should just go ahead like that. Okay. So my name is Ifeanyi Emmanuel John Onoha, and I'm the country pastor for Dominions in the Church. My experiences span from ministry, with over 15 years in ministry in the financial industry. I'm also a scholar. I have 2 master's degrees and a PhD in VUE this year. I've known NIE for a while, and I must tell you that every Thursday and Saturdays when we gather here, it's an experience that we are always grateful for, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for this opportunity as well. So people are not exceptional in life because they have a superior firepower, but because they made strategic use of their firepower. So everybody has firepower, some sort of, but people are not exceptional. People are only exceptional because they made strategic use of their firepower. So it doesn't matter what you have or what you know until you make strategic use of it. That thing really does not count for anything in your life. If you study the concept of strategy, it connotes that the role of a king, it connotes that strategy is the role of a king, or a king's ability to devise military strategy or military plans. Now, with the concept of strategy, for us to begin to mingle with the concept of strategy tonight, it simply means that we have come to terms with the fact that we have capacity to devise the right response for our own lives. So today, I want you to sit down and consider yourself a strategist, which is very important. A wise strategist, Stephen Covey, stated that begin with the end in mind. But it is not the vision that delivers the future. It is the right strategic steps that delivers the desired reality. So a lot of people have heard about vision, the future you cannot see. A lot of people have seen, and yet nothing has happened. So it's not necessarily the vision, it is the strategic approach to the vision that delivers the desired reality. So anything you want to do or become in life is subject to the right strategy. So tonight, we're not even talking about strategy, we're talking about moving beyond strategy. But I'm just trying to lay a foundation. Whether you want to break an addiction, whether you want to get a job, increase your income, organizing a program, finding the right person to marry, life is practically strategy-based. So the challenge we have in society today is that we have people who live dual lives. We have people who work in organizations that are strategic, in the sense that people work in banks, people work in oil companies, people work in churches, people work in different places that are systematically run or systematically driven. But when they come into their own lives after the work and they come back to their own lives, they live their lives without priority, without any form of organization or strategy. So you see that people begin to that a doctor who will tell somebody don't smoke in the hospital will smoke at home. A debt counselor who will counsel somebody not to get into debt will have his own debt. A banker will be broke. A consultant will have all kinds of problems in their lives. So they've lost the battle in the first line of defense because they are not applying the strategy to themselves. So the good thing about tonight is that we are talking about strategy, not just in business, but you can also apply it to yourself. One of the reasons why I like listening today is because his teachings are practical and functional. So whenever there is no strategy, there is no quantifiable progress. You may be making progress, but it cannot be quantifiable in the sense that you don't know what you did to get to this point. Because if you know what you did to get to this point, then you can qualify your progress. You can qualify your advancement. So tonight, the focus is on pushing the limits of strategy. Academically, you cannot be awarded a PhD degree in a school like mine, except you have published articles, at least 2 or 3 articles in your area of study. What they are trying to do is to push your strategy. They are saying that you're already on a path, but there is more to this path than a degree. So you can actually come up with articles, which I have personally published. But pushing the limits of your strategy does not necessarily imply doing something different. It implies maximizing the delivery potentials of your existing strategies, in my opinion. So going beyond what is safe, pushing the limits of pushing the limits of your strategy is going beyond what is safe to taking calculated risks. So pushing the limits of your strategy also means seeing the invisible and going after the opportunities that other people don't see. It means to go beyond what is normal. So whilst the emphasis tonight is on opening the throttle and going forward past a point you thought was unattainable. You know, when you drive a car, for instance, the car can go on 100 kilometers per hour. The car can also go on 220 kilometers per hour. And some can even go as much as 300 kilometers per hour. While it is important to stay safe and not kill yourself on the road, there is more to the car than you are presently doing. So I don't think tonight is about changing strategy. I think tonight is about maximizing the delivery potentials of your existing strategies. For instance, if everyone knows that it will rain cats and dogs, the natural strategy will be that everyone will endeavor to stay indoors as a form of strategy. But there is much more that can be done to maximize the potentials of that rain within a safe zone. So while you're not coming out of the going into the rain and then getting cold and getting sick, there is more you can do than just keeping yourself indoors. I believe Pastor Lee will tell us about all that later. But you may not know how pertinent it is to push the limits of your strategies until you have done an in-depth analysis of the marketplace. If you do an in-depth analysis of your marketplace, you will discover that you need to push the limits of your strategies. And part of the benefits that will come to us tonight, part of the expectations that will come to us tonight, is that we will be able to make smarter business decisions that will position us for fierce competition and relevance. We'll also be able to make competitive risk assessments. It's not about life is about risk generally. So if you decide not to take a risk, and it is as though the greatest risk is not even taking risk at all. A politician in Nigeria said, if you talk, you die. If you don't talk, you will still die. So no matter what you do, you are still taking a risk. But when you take a competitive risk assessment, you are able to make a strategic decision and push the limits of your strategy. You are also going to be learning about changing customer preferences and improve performance. So in my own opinion, technology have limits and so do business strategies. However, stretching is of essence. It's important that we stretch ourselves like a plastic. Every time you stretch yourself like a rubber, you never go back to that same capacity. So stretching or going beyond the limits of your strategy means that you will never remain the same again. You can't be the same. You can't go back to what you used to be before. So remember that the wounds of honor are self-inflicted. If you're going to be honorable in business and ministry, in whatever you do, the wounds of honor are self-inflicted, and it is your responsibility to make your way prosperous. So having said this about pushing the limits of your strategy, I want to welcome you on behalf of Nia Desaya to this session of transformation and improved performance. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Pastor Emmanuel. It's such a great delight to have you share with us today. Like you said, today is not all about changing of strategy, right? So I am sure that our appetite, for tonight's teaching has been primed up, and I am looking forward to it as well. And so just in a few seconds, I'm going to give you a sneak peek into the profile of Pastor Nia Adesanya. While I'm doing that, please let's engage in the chat section. Let us know where you're joining from, your name and where you're joining from. Pastor Nia Adesanya is one of the globally respected voices in leadership, both in Nigeria, of course, and around the world. He is an award-winning performance strategist. He is a management consultant, and he is the CEO of Fifth Gear Plus. He's a professional and is experienced, and his experience has seen to the transformation and innovation of both individuals and multinational organizations, resulting in their increased effectiveness and productivity. He is also a renowned author and executive coach. He's a keynote speaker. He's an entrepreneur. He's a leadership development expert and a member of the board of many companies. So with all the joy you have in you, please make welcome Pastor Nia Adesanya with a show of your emojis, your favorite emojis at the chat section, with a show of your hand clap where you are. Yeah, we've been doing this for weeks and months now, and he has not stopped. We can't outgive him. He has done so much and still doing. Let's make him welcome, please.
What do I have winners in the house?
Yes, sir. Yo.
Your hands are not going up. All I do is win. Okay, music off. Guys, get to the chat room. Chat room. Tell me you are a winner. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. Winner man. Winner woman. I'm looking at it right now. Go there. I'm a winner. Winner man. Winner woman. Come on, guys. Today is a wonderful day. Awesome day. Marvelous day. Good. I'm a winner. I need to know how many winners we have in the house. Who wants to win? I want to win every time, every day, every time and every day. You know, somebody said something recently. He said, you did not win silver, you lost gold. That's very powerful. You know, say, I won silver. No, you didn't win silver. You lost gold. That's why you were given silver. I don't know about you, but I want to get the gold at every point in time. Remember what we're here for? We're here talking about game changers, how to be on top of your game at the stay relevant in and out of season. Many of us will realize that this is out of season for most of us. Except some of us were born in the analog age, analog. Now, this is the digital age. We're supposed to be out of season. We're supposed to have been knocked out by some people. But you know what? We are still strong, changing strategy and being fluid, maneuvering the marketplace, maneuvering life, making sure that we are still very much in the faces of people and not just there making noise. We're there making impact, not just in their lives, but also in our bank account, which is very, very important, guys. And I'm so excited this evening to be here with you guys. And I'm especially first acknowledge Tosin. Tosin, thank you for helping us coordinate this. You did well, fantastic. Love you for that. And also, my good friend of many years, my very good friend of many years. I've missed him now, but thank you for Zoom. I see him every time and I see his beautiful one. He knocked it out of the park today. He knocked it out of the park for 10 minutes. And knowing well that, well, he's a PhD student, even if you gave him 2 minutes, he should be able to do something. So, Emmanuel, thank you. Ifeanyi, thank you so much for that wonderful time. It was short but powerful. You have actually taken a lot out of my table, so I'll just go straight to the business of the day. What are we talking about? Pushing the limits. Pushing the limits of your strategies. And it's very important for us to know this because it's not about the strategy itself. It's your ability to push it. Your ability to stay at the edge, always trying to stretch at the border, pushing things beyond what you even discussed in the office. And we're going to take you to, I'm going to take you to a process on how you can do that. Because when you look at it, looking at my personal life right now, I am not supposed to be relevant right now in code. I'm not supposed to be. Because look, many people who know me will tell you this is strange to me. Nei has not been on the internet. I mean, even my Facebook followership is almost zero. You know what I mean by zero? Almost zero compared to what I could have gotten. I mean, after you've spoken to over 3 million audience, different kind of audiences in your lifetime. I mean, physical, not online, physical guys, 3 million. You should be having like 150,000 followers on social media, but that's not the case. But nevertheless, I'm not supposed to be relevant right now because there was a change in season. COVID-19 came and changed the whole thing. But as it was changing the whole thing, I was also changing my strategy. Now, did I plan to be on Zoom every week or twice every week? I did not. Was that part of my strategy in January? Definitely not. Was that part of my strategy in March when when there was a lockdown? Definitely not. But as we progressed, as we were making, getting into the lockdown, it was dawning on me every day that there is something new that you ought to be doing. And that's what we're talking about today. Now, remember guys, we're talking about game changers. Game changers. And then we've been able to talk about, what's it called? Performance. If I can get the slide so that we can tick it. We're supposed to do it for the whole month. This, what's it called? This August. This is August. Yeah, I'm already in September. August. We're supposed to knock that off the whole of August, but definitely we've not been able to finish that to a large extent. So we're going to be taking, I think we're taking out performance. If I can get the slide, guys, the slide about the game changer, I would appreciate that. We're taking out performance. We've taken network. We've taken, yeah, now I can see it. We've taken performance, we've taken numbers, we've taken network, we've taken, guys, you need to help me right now. Good. Okay, don't just leave it like that. Even if you don't project it, let me just see it. I'll just read it out to the people. We've taken performance, we've taken numbers, we've not done standard, we've not done structure. Hopefully I'll take structure along with strategy because you can actually drive your strategy without a structure or a system. We're going to take both together. We're taking network. We've not taken visibility and exposure. Neither have we talked about image and reputation. But tonight we're going to be talking about strategy. And then the beautiful thing about this is that, like I said, Emmanuel has done a fantastic job for me by giving you what strategy is all about. From the Greek word strategia, which means a general that is maneuvering his soldiers at the war front, maneuvering the soldiers, moving around with the soldiers, and then putting them in formation at the war front. And you all know that when you go to war, what you discussed at the war room could be different from what you meet on the battlefield. So your strategy does not end at the war room, and you're watching over them and you're making sure that they are moving on and maneuvering their way on and on and on and on and on. Now, also please know very well that the limit of your strategy, driving that limit, pushing that limit, actually starts when you are in the war room or in the strategy room. When you are formulating or coming up with those strategies, that is where most of us actually have limited our strategies. And we need to be aware of that. Now, sometimes, there's some things that you look out for that makes up your strategic plan and strategic disposition. No, I've gone beyond this, guys. But just think that I'll come back to that again. And your strategic drive, disposition, you look at numbers. We just finished the sales academy, and then we're talking about numbers. Numbers is very good. You have to look at your numbers. You have to look at this. You have to look at data. You have to look at statistics. You have to know all those things. Now, very important, very important. But being a Christian, sometimes I read the Bible and I use the Bible to illustrate my points. So if you have your spare time, not your spare time, go to the Bible and read Judges 20, talking about the children of Israel going against one tribe, the children of Benjamin. They came against the tribe, and then the children of Benjamin had about 38 soldiers, and the children of Israel had over 400,000 soldiers. Now, that is numbers advantage. So the guy sat down and said, look at them, they are 38,000, we have 400, so let's go. And then they did some things they didn't do enough when it comes to sitting down to think. That's where they missed it. They went to fight 38 against 400,000, 38,000 against 400,000, and guess what? The guys with the 400,000 lost 22,000 soldiers that night. Can you imagine? I mean, we have numbers advantage. We looked at the statistics, we look at the data, but how come we lost 22,000 soldiers? So the next day they did the same thing. They didn't do a thorough job in the war room or in the strategic room. They didn't do a thorough job. They went the second day and they lost 18,000. 18,000, that makes 40,000. So you can read it, Judges 20, but if you want to get a better understanding of it, you go from chapter 19 and then you get into chapter 20. That tells you something that it is at the place of the strategy room when you are formulating or coming up with that strategy that most of us have actually limited our strategy. Because the question you ought to be asking yourself is that, number one, in this room that we have sat down together, we have all come together to come up with strategies. Do I have the right people in the room? Do I have the right people in the room? Is all the units or every component, all the people that I need to help me come up with a winning strategy, are they seated? Are they available? That's number one. Number two is the atmosphere that are built, the culture that are built over time. Does it allow for dissenting voices? Very important. Because if everybody is a yes man or a psychophant, you have already limited your strategies. You have already limited it big time. So is this an atmosphere where people can speak their mind? Is this an atmosphere where people can more or less disagree with me and then we can move forward? Or is it that everybody will just toe my line and then whatever I say is kind of final wisdom? If that is the case, that means whatever you come up with, whatever you put on the paper has already been limited. So before you put people together to start talking about strategies, what you need to do is to make sure that you have corrected all this mindset or culture in your organization or in your life. It could be an individual, not just the organization that is trying to put up a strategy. The people you will invite, make sure they are not yes men. Make sure there are people that can look you straight in the eye and tell you, we don't think this can work, or why not look at it this way? And sometimes you need somebody in that room. Listen to me. You need somebody in that room who will play the devil's advocate. The devil's advocate sometimes stretches your perspective, moves you from the norm, what you're used to, and open your eyes to some of your blind spots. All these things are very, very important. And there's one thing I always advise people to do at the place of formulation of strategy is to try as much as you can, especially this applies to individuals who are trying to come up with strategy, come up with ideas. Make sure you do not, make sure you're aware of what we call the incompatible thinking. The incompatible thinking. The incompatible thinking are two kinds of thinking that must not go hand in hand. They must not go together. You must not do both at the same time. What you do is to implement one, and after you've implemented that one, and then you come back later to implement the other one. It is called the generative and the evaluative thinking. Generative and evaluative thinking. Now, you don't generate and evaluate at the same time. You don't create and then criticize what you're creating at the same time. If you do that, what you've done is that you have closed the flow of creativity, the creative juice in you has been closed. And then somebody who is there, who wants to give an idea, probably said something that was nonsense, so to say, and then because everybody laughed at this guy, right? Anytime you laugh at an idea or you criticize an idea, you're already evaluating that idea. So the goal here is for you not to evaluate that idea, not to criticize that idea, not to do anything, just let the idea drop. So when everybody knows that, look, my ideas are not going to be criticized, then everybody can talk freely, because you need everybody to talk freely. Because I always tell people this, and a nonsense idea, all you need to do after a while is just to move the non out of the nonsense, and it becomes sense. So if you have thrown the nonsense away, it's like you throwing the baby and the bathwater away. You have already thrown the sense away with the nonsense. Hope you understand that. So you must make sure that nobody criticizes. So the first thing you do in the place of strategy formulation is for you to first generate those ideas. Generate this. Nobody should criticize. Now, it's easier to do this when you are in a group, when somebody is monitoring you. But when you're just all by yourself and you're trying to come up with ideas, winning ideas that can change you or change your game or change your life or change the situation around you, most of the time we are not aware of this. You're not aware of this. So this is how dicey or very tricky this is. I tell people this. If you're generating an idea and you're trying to get the right spelling of that word to write down, what's the spelling of this again? Oh, once you start that, you know what you've done? You are evaluating that process already. So the advice is that don't try to get the spelling right. Just write it in a way that you will understand this is what you wrote. I always use this chaos as an example whenever I teach this. And you know, chaos could be very difficult for some of us in this part of the world. And you're wondering chaos. It sounds K-I-O-S. You know, you look at, no, is it chaos? Is it? By the time you start thinking, how do I spell it? You already started evaluating it. So what you do is just to write it the way you understand it. Do you understand? As simple as that, that could be a game changer for good. So once you've done that, you generate those ideas, leave them the way they are. Take a break. I'm talking about individuals. Now, even as a group, take a break. Don't evaluate immediately. Take a break and come back to your journal or come back to the flip charts that you have written and then begin to look at the ones that can work now and the ones that can work later. Because you know what, there's some ideas that you come up with, or there's some strategies that will come up with that will not be useful right now. But I can bet you in the next 5, 10 years, it definitely could be the game changer. It definitely could be the game changer. I remember there was a time when I was still a pastor at Daystar. I'll go, okay, I'll seal the names from here. And then somebody gave a very funny idea. I mean, very funny idea. And because we were told that we'll be fined if you laugh, I mean, I could hear my friends laughing, but we know how you'll be laughing, you'll be looking at yourself, but you can't laugh out. You can't laugh out, you can't even show any sign. That's ridiculous. What a ridiculous idea. Where did this guy come from? How is he thinking? That was what we were going to. We're looking at ourselves and know, wow, this is serious, or this is serious. And then in less than 45 minutes or 1 hour, 60 minutes later, the winning idea, the winning strategy that changed the old game for us, even as a church back then, came from that so-called stupid idea. You know what that means? That means if we had shut that guy down, if we had laughed at him, if we had made jest of what he gave us, the person who referred to that idea will be scared of being laughed at. He will not be able to make reference to it. Because somebody just said, what kind of stupid idea is that? So is that stupid idea you now want to go and pick and turn around? You'll be scared. So if we had done that, if we had not been cautioned, then we will have lost that opportunity to come up with that winning idea. And that's why in the place of formulating strategy, writing down your strategy, coming up with strategy, that is where most of us have limited our ideas already. Not even in the point of pushing, not in the point of what's it called, implementing. Coming up with it already has limited you. Oh, I've crossed all the T's. I've looked at all the market environment. I've looked at this, I've looked at that, but are you really sure that you looked at it? Are you really sure that you allowed everybody to speak their mind as much as they can? Are you really sure that the right people that are supposed to be there are sitting down there? If not, then your strategy is it K-leg, they call it, or one-legged strategy. So that is the first thing that you must pay attention to. First thing that you must pay attention to. So what am I saying in essence is that, look at your life. Look at the culture that you have in your organization, in your life, and then find out, is it a place where people can speak freely? Is it a place where people are allowed to come up with ideas? Is it a place where people can be themselves without being victimized, bullied, or messed up? You know, there's a way some people are saying, I didn't bring you here to think, I brought you here to work. So that's very important if you want to get winning ideas, if you want to get winning ideas. And then the other one are the people. Now I said something about the right people being there. And it's very important that you know that a strategy or a winning strategy, just like a plane taking off. When a plane takes off, you know, you have the pilot, you have the crew, you have the passengers. All these people must cooperate with the pilot. But you, who is what's called, you are the leader, you're the one that owns the strategy, so to say, or you're the one that the strategy will change the most, or is your organization. You are not the pilot, neither are you the crew person, the crew members, neither are you the passenger. You are right there at the control tower. So you must be sure that the pilot, the crew members, the crew, The passengers will listen to you. And you must be sure that you don't have a terrorist in that cabin. Or you don't have a pilot who is suicidal. You remember what happened to the Air German plane that crashed? The pilot just went and crashed it because the guy was suicidal. So it is your job to ensure that you have the right people that will push this idea. Now, once they are not in that right frame of mind, once they are not in that strong potential point, then your strategy is limited already. It's limited already. Once they are not well trained, then your strategy is limited automatically. So you can see it is not just what you wrote in the paper. It's not what is on the flip chart. It's not your business plan, so to say. It is not all those things that you say, okay, this is the steps that we would take. It is more about the people that will even implement that. And going forward, do they have, there's something we call, I think in transformation, leading the transformation, I teach that a lot. There's something we call the resources and readiness balance. The resources and readiness balance. Now, do I have a set of people? Do I have an organization? Do I have, even myself, do I have that balance where my resources and my readiness is at par? Now I will explain that. Resources, we all know what resources, human resource, capital, all those things, your brand, blah, 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 blah. All those ones needs to be there, your infrastructure, your structure and everything. But most of the time, what people do not pay attention to is the readiness. It's the readiness. Okay, because I have so much money in my bank account, because I have so much people that are qualified, I have PhD guys here, I have master's degrees guys here, I have all those things figured out. I mean, we're strong. We have bad assets. We have savings, and we can intimidate anybody. But the point you should be also concerned about is that readiness. And what is readiness? Readiness is that dissatisfaction with status quo. Readiness is you turning your discomfort into inspiration. Readiness is that you just won a war, or you just won a battle, and the people are rejoicing, and you get there and tell them, no. Yeah, you guys can rejoice, you can shout, but the war has not been won. Readiness is that mentality that there's still more to acquire, there's still more to be done. Now, every leader, irrespective of whether you have accomplished your strategy or there's another one that is coming, wants to keep your people or the people that are working with you in that state of readiness. My guys who work with me will tell you this, that in as much as, we do things together, we do everything, and then we celebrate whenever we celebrate. I'm always quick to come back, you know what, we're not there yet, we're not there yet, we're not there yet, we're not there yet. I want to keep them on their toes. I want to keep them ready. I don't want a situation where we have to do something and I have to come back and motivate them or pep them up. By the time I'm pepping them up, time is of essence. If I lose that timing, then I have limited my strategy. So I need these guys to be ever ready, ever ready. There must be that balance. And sometimes you're balanced in that point of readiness, but the resources is not even there. The resources is not there. So you need to look for both balance. And then, okay, let me go back to the scriptures. You remember, this about, sorry to the Muslims here, you remember the story of Esau and Jacob. After Jacob stole the birthright. Yeah, he stole the birthright. He didn't actually steal the birthright. He took what was sold to him with the porridge. So when he was coming, he met Esau. He sent gifts to Esau, and then Esau came to meet in the hall, blah, blah, blah. And Esau said, Jacob, let us move. Let's go and have a party. Let's go and enjoy ourselves. And then Jacob said, you know what? You go ahead. We will meet you because my flock is feeble. In other words, the kind of resources I have here need some attention. Before I start moving them out to achieve this goal or to go for this strategy, I need to pay attention to their skills. Why do you want us to achieve that goal when you have not actually trained us? Why do you want us to go all out when we are not fully equipped? And that's very important for people to know. Now, I saw this story so many years back. It was a story of a specialist hospital. I mean, they just realized that in the ICU intensive care unit, they just started recording some deaths. These people are not supposed to die. Based on their medical record, based on what we've done and our expertise and everything, these people are not supposed to die. So the medical director got so angry and then said, why are people dying? So he called in specialists. The specialists came, they did all the diagnoses, they did all the checks and everything. They said, wow, people are not supposed to die. Why are people dying? So at first they thought they were demons. So they now went to get pastors, imams to come in and they prayed, sprinkling holy water everywhere and everything, blah, blah, blah. And they still realized that even after that, people were still dying. So what they decided to do is that, okay, while we're not here, let us put some surveillance camera in this room so that we can see the demon or the death that comes to kill people here. So in the process of putting those surveillance camera in there, they now realized that there was this particular lady who comes in there, a cleaner, who will want to vacuum the whole place, clean the whole place. You know what she does? She removes the plug for the ventilator of the machine so that she can plug our vacuum machine. So that she can plug a vacuum machine. So after she's done, she would take that off and put the ventilator back. As far as she's concerned, nothing spoiled. Nothing is wrong with that. Now you can imagine how not paying attention to some staff and giving them everything actually limited, not even limited, shredded the strategy of the consultant and everybody that came. So the question now is, oh man, oh woman that is pushing a strategy, how strong are your people? How strong are your people? How well informed are they? That's very important. And again, in these people, you need to, strategy, pushing your strategy with the people, you also must know how to generate enough energy. I think we said something about that 2 weeks ago about generating energy. You remember? Generating energy, that I do something, you must know what gives you energy and you must know what depletes your energy. Now that is for you as an individual, but for the team that you're working with, because when you come up with a strategy, you can't work alone. There are no rangers again. Even when it comes to leadership, there's no ranger again. So you must be able to, as an individual, be able to generate energy within your team, within the people. And that also contributes to the readiness angle. And then the question now is, how do you generate energy? How do you generate energy? You must be able to communicate effectively. Communicate your plan, communicate your aspiration, communicate what you want to achieve in clear terms. In clear terms, people must just understand what you are saying. They must understand. That is why your job is to simplify it as much as you can. Bogus words cannot work. Intimidating vocabulary cannot work. It must be something that is relatable. It's something that must be something that you can see almost everywhere, that can remind them of your idea. I remember so many years back when I was still doing some corporate training, we were given a job to go and train. You know, in Lagos, Nigeria, we have this BRT buses that were driven by almost semi-illiterate, if not illiterate, set of people that, you know, drive the buses. So they said those guys don't take care of their buses. So they brought us in to deal with that situation for them. How do you help us and change these people's mindset so that they can always take care of their buses? So we got in there, and then I told my guys before we went, you know what, you guys must paint a picture, emotional trauma or emotional excitement around their buses. The bus must be turned into something else. So we came up with the idea that it was the boss that is supplying food in the house. It was the boss that was supplying children's school fees, house rent, and everything. In other words, that boss is no more a boss. That boss is a pot of soup. Pot of soup. Pot of soup. So we were not calling the boss a boss. You say, how is your pot of soup? How is your pot of soup? You know, if this pot of soup breaks, there is no food for the family. There's no, what's it called? There's no school fees. House rent will be affected. So anything that affects this pot affects all those things, affects the comfort of your children. And then based on that, those people left, and then they started calling their bosses my pot of soup. Don't touch my pot of soup. Don't touch my pot of soup. Don't touch my pot of soup. Now you can see that based on effective communication, we were able to use common language to be able to make them do what we want them to do based on the strategy of keeping those bosses sane, keeping them out of mechanics to be repaired every now and then because they're a bit careless. So you must know how to communicate to your people effectively. And I'm stressing the word effectively. Why? Because someone say, no, I've done effective communication. No. If you have not gotten results, the communication is not effective. You communicated, but it's not an effective communication. The only thing that qualifies it to be effective is that you can see results. So communication is very, very important in generating energy. And not just that, you must also be optimistic. You must be optimistic. You must get in there and then make sure that you are sending the right vibes. Sometimes you don't even know how those strategies will be accomplished. Look, I've done lots of programs. I've done a lot of things. My staff, some of my staff are here, and I've done a lot of things that we don't even have the money yet. But I come in there and say, if somebody just gave me money that I will use tomorrow, and I keep pushing there, I keep encouraging them, don't worry guys, let's just go. I know that any attempt from me to back down or to back out at that point, this strategy, this project that we're about to do is not going to see the light of the day. I don't have the money. I cannot tell them I don't have the money. I have to stay optimistic because the money to run this program is in the hands of those people, and the hands of the participant. So if I do not push this guy out to the participant, we'll never get the money to run this program. And then optimism, I must tell you the truth, sometimes, you know what, I'm also depressed. I'm feeling, wow, how can I get this done? This looks so big. This looks insurmountable. But that's me in my privacy. But when I get out there with my guys, I must throw that away because they're watching you. And I think we said this over the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you have something that you have an aura, a magnetic field of magnetic stuff, a vibe that you are you're emanating the signal that you're sending out of your body without you knowing. So when you stay optimistic, you become contagious. And then before you know what's happening, those guys' languages, their languages just start to change. And they begin to say the things that you're saying and believe the things that you're believing. And then they start eradicating different kind of excuses that you can ever think about. To the point that you radiate it to them, they catch it because it's contagious. And then the things that they begin to say now begin to return energy back to you. So it's a two-way thing. You send energy, you get energy, you send energy, you get energy, because you need energy to push your strategy. It's not just money. People can have money and not have energy. You've seen a lot of that. They have so much, but the readiness is not there. They've not generated so much, and that's why some guys from nowhere can push people off the radar. And people who are established there can push you off the radar because they have some tremendous amount of energy, and then they don't have the resources, but they have tremendous amounts of energy. And before you know what's happening, the rest, like they say, will be history. Go ask Zenith. Go ask all those big banks in Nigeria, and ask also those new generation banks that are 31, 30, then you understand what we're talking about here. They had the readiness and they pushed them out. Now, optimism is very important. Listening skills, important. Listening skills. You must listen. You must listen. You must listen. Sometimes your idea has been written down, but you didn't get the total picture. Somebody comes from nowhere and gives you an idea, and gives you a total different picture. If you're not paying attention, you will lose that push, and you'll be limited within that box. You need to see how many times I've changed my mind over one strategy or the other. For instance, this program was not supposed to happen. We're supposed to end it by July. We're supposed to have ended it by July. I have announced it at the program that we're ending the leadership series by July, end of July. We're not doing it again. And then the kind of teaching that we've had this month, it's not comparable to the ones that we've had. Even the whole of July, June that we started on, June, July, May that we started this. No, I think it's June and July. Yeah, this is our third month. June and July that we did this, the kind of teachings we have had this time, this month, as far as I'm concerned, the best so far. But it was just somebody who came in and gave me a different perspective. I had announced, I've done everything, but somebody just came and everything, and I called my staff. What do you guys think? We can announce it the next day. So I came back and told them on Thursday, you know what, we'll continue with this. We'll continue with this. Listen. Listen. You must have that listening ability. And then for you to have that listening ability, you must have the ability to question. What do you think? But you've already decided, don't worry about what I've decided, just what do you think? What's your perspective about this? What do you think we should do? I mean, I already have a strategy written down. I'm still asking you questions. The reason why I'm asking those questions is because it gives me a broader perspective. It makes me know the things I'm missing out in this when it comes to this strategy. It makes me know what I need to take off from my paper, my strategy formulation, or what I need to add to it. So you must know how to ask. Actually, as a leader, you're not supposed to tell people what to do. You're supposed to ask people what to do. Take that cup away from there. No. Do you think this cup is supposed to be there? What do you feel about it? Is this the right place for the cup to be? Oh, yes, the right place for the cup to be because of this and that and that. But when you say, take this cup away from, that's an instruction. You will never help them think, and they will never give you a different perspective and gives you a broader view of what you have written down. As long as you are not being given a broader view of what you have written down, on your way to achieving that strategy, you have already limited that strategy. You have limited it. That's why people don't get the best from it. Like I said, I wasn't supposed to be online. I wasn't supposed to be online. But I was pushed online. Now, some people call me Mr. COVID. You know why they call me Mr. COVID? They said, it seems you've taken advantage of this COVID thing, and then things are turning out for you. And that, you know what? That is the whole truth. Things are turning out for me, making the kind of income that we've not made before. I mean, we are even doing some matters investments right now. I mean, opportunities are showing up. People are offering us opportunities every time because of this. And January to March, this was not a strategy. But because I asked questions, because I listened to people as I move on, things were changing. And before you know what's happening, people now think that Nee is a strong guy. Nee thought about this for 10 years ago. I did not. I did not. I'm just maximizing my strategy of being relevant. You know, somebody say, how come you've stayed relevant for 15 years? How come you've stayed relevant for 20 years? How come you've stayed relevant for so number of years? Whichever year you call it. Now, you know what? I listen. I ask. I've written something down. We've typed it, but I'm listening. I want to see how we can tweak it. What can we do? How can we go about it? What's the best way? Because my job is to generate energy, not to get the job done, but to generate energy. And again, one of the things that you must learn how to do, because this can kill the energy within your team, within your organization, that your strategy can fail woefully or be derailed, is your swiftness in managing conflict within the people around. You must know how to manage it. If you fail there, the strategy is already failing because you need the team to be together. You must be a lord in managing conflicts. And then be careful when you manage conflict and then you become biased, you have killed the energy. You didn't kill the energy. You just release a toxic energy from another camp. And once that energy comes in contact with the real energy that you have, forget it. It's toxic. Toxic is toxic, no matter how small the poison is. If the water is very much, the quantity of poison must not be the same as the water. Just a little bit of poison damages everything. So you must know how to, as a matter of competencies, know how to manage conflicts. These are things that we can explain over and over and over again, but we don't have the time right now. And then one thing that you also need to do to generate energy is to benchmark. 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 What are you benchmarking? What are you looking at? Who are you talking to? Who is your standard? Who do the people that's the strategy that you're working on? You know, you can say nobody has ever done this. Nobody could have ever done this before, but there's somebody who's a leading guy in your industry. What are they doing? Why are people so excited about that? So you must be able to benchmark. Because that is one of the ways you can raise the energy level of your people. When you benchmark somebody, then you swatch them. These are things you already know. But most of the time, we don't practice it. We only do it once. We do it once in the boardroom, at the boardroom, or we do it once in the situation room, but we don't do it along the way. You're benchmarking, you're looking at things. What do I need to do? How about this? You know, when you see my studio right now, you're wondering, what happened? Wow, you transformed everything. You know what? I benchmarked. Although I'm not there yet. The guy is a bit crazy. He's a mad guy. I'm talking about Anthony Robbins. You know, he's mad. You can't catch up with him. But at least to some extent, to the extent of my ability, what I can do, I'm trying to cover up the gaps. So I did a studio. I put a studio up. I put TVs there. I did all that. I did a good backdrop and everything. I'm still working on the backdrop, trying to get LED screen, and I put it there. I mean, spending money and all that. Why? Because I'm benchmarking a guy. Although the gap is so enormous, or at least it's giving me inspiration. And I play the video. I tell all my guys, watch these guys, follow them, see what they are doing, learn from them. You know what I'm doing? Once they see it and I start talking, it peps up the energy level. If they can do it, we can do it too. If they can achieve it, we can achieve it too. So that's how to raise the game for the energy for your people. Now, next thing you need to do is to now look at the structure that you have. Structure. Look, in my industry, in this part of the world, I don't know what is happening to other people, but let me just say this. I try to do an head count of people that have worked with me. I mean, that have collected salaries from me, over the years, that have collected salaries from me over the years, like 15 years now. I counted over 50 people that have collected salary. I'm not talking about people that we paid for doing one job, just contract. I'm talking about salaries. At least a minimum of 6 months salary. Over 50 people. In other words, I provided employment with my public speaking and everything. I believe so much in structure. I believe so much in systems. What I invest in system, salary, operations, is enough for me to live like a king. I mean, yearly, it's enough for me to live as a king. But I believe so much in structure. So when people see me through this program, through that program, through that and this program, almost at the same time, people are worried for me that this guy is going to kill himself. Somebody should get it. He's getting out of his mind. But you know what? I walk through the structure. I walk through my systems. System for me is very, very important. So you want to stretch and push the limit of your strategy. You must look at your structure. You must look at your system. If the system and the structure is limited, then forget about it. Your strategy is already limited, drastically limited. So I look at that. I look at the well-being of my guys. I look at their sanity. They must be safe. I mean, what I mean by sanity, mental health, I want to make sure that they are okay up there. I want to make sure that, because structure is one thing, the people who run the structure is also something else. Now, the people may be good, but do they have the tools to work? The tools to work must be very, very readily available. Because if the tools are not there, that means your strategy is already limited. You can't push it. You can't push it. Thank God for COVID. Thank God for COVID. You know, the Bible says in all things you give thanks. Why? Now, my people don't have to come to work. They may never have to come to work forever. They can work from home. Tuesdays, it does. Oh, no, the most important thing that it does is that it makes them not go through the so-called terrible Lagos traffic. Terrible Lagos traffic. They don't have to go through it. Now, you know what I've done? I've increased their lifespan by at least another 4 or 5 years. And not just that, they are thinking now, the way they think is different from when they have to go through the stress of commuting 1 or 2 hours to work and commuting back to work 1 or 2 hours. And then before you know what's happening, they can't even think at night. So that on its own, it's one of the blessings of COVID. Now I realize that we can do more because we have achieved more this season than we have achieved in other seasons. I'm talking about 3 months space or 6 months, even 6 months. I mean, COVID is almost 6 months right now. Lockdown, we've achieved more. The kind of income that we've received is mind-blowing. And it's so mind-blowing that sometimes some free money start coming in. I'm gonna mean free money that you didn't even work for, just comes in like that. Why? Because of the so-called season that we are in. Now, one other thing that I want us to pay attention to when it comes to the structure, and this also limits a whole lot of people, is that you must know what the consultant calls the total system. The total system. Because when you come up with all these your strategies, there's some things that you must know about the total system. And the total system must be driven together. I will explain. Okay, you have a strategy of increasing marketing. We want to increase sales. Most of the time we make this mistake of focusing on sales alone. When we meet, we only talk about sales. When we meet, we talk about numbers. Who's not meeting their numbers with them? We talk about that over and over and over and over again, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. And then most of the time we don't talk about production. Most of them we don't talk about the admin guys. Driving the total system, what we are trying to drive here is marketing, is sales. But I need the admin guy to be there. I need the production guy to be there. So although we devote more time to sales, but I need a feedback from them to see how they are faring in this season and what their contributions are to this, what's it called, pushing of sales that we're talking about, or marketing that we're talking about. You cannot neglect all the other functions. If you do that, I bet you, you're limiting the potential of your strategy. Because one person, or one unit, or one individual cannot run with that strategy. It has to be a combination of everybody pushing it together at the same time. Now, as we begin to tie it up so that we can have more questions, there's some basic things that you also ask yourself. And I think that's the basic thing when it comes to strategy that you must put in place to make sure that you've covered all ground. There are some basic questions that you must answer. Please, if I can get the slide that Gabriel did right now, let me just pick the one I want and then talk about that. And there's some things that you, questions that you have to ask yourself. Market, and I think, what's it called? Emmanuel did a good job about that. Market analysis, trend analysis, and competition. I like using the word competition, not competitors. Competition. And I want to advise you, if you want to be strategic, don't pay too much attention on competitors. You know why? If you pay attention on competitors, you only be focusing on your industry. But these days, the people who disrupt an industry are outsiders. Ask Nokia. He wasn't expecting Apple to chase him out of the market, phone market. He wasn't expecting Samsung to do the same thing. Those guys came from nowhere. They came from the blind side. So the people you think you're competing with right now, forget about it, they're not the one. Just imagine my own industry, the speaking industry in Nigeria. The people I thought were competitors are not even competitors like that. There's some people that you've not even heard about their name. The way they are clearing money, I mean, making money online right now is something else. To the point that we have to sit down and start sitting down with them and telling them, teach us what you know, teach us what you know. So I've learned that the people that are going to disrupt my industry are not the people in my industry. They'll be outsiders. Now, you know what? In the speaking industry in Nigeria, the consulting business and everything, do you know some of those successful guys who are bank managers, who are bank MDs, who are bank executive directors are now vying into the speaking field? They're coming there. They're coming to ask for a job, the coaching job. We've been coached so we can coach people. So I know very well that my competitors I should not be focusing on them. I should more or less focus on competition. And how do you focus on competition? Focus on your product. Your product should be your competition. Your product should be what you make better every time. You have done something about it now. It's selling. Everybody is going for it. But you're also thinking, how can I move it to the next level? Now, let me create something that will render that could render this one useless. That is how your strategy is supposed to be built. Very important. And then one of the things also, the question, okay, if you can project that for me quickly so that everybody can see it. Thank you, I would really appreciate that. Let's share that slide quickly. Now there's some questions. These are things I got from a book while looking at this. When you look at the questions, what business are you in? These are just generic questions that will help you in formulation of strategy. What business are you in? You need to identify that. When you're sitting with your people, these are the things that you do. What are our competitive strengths and our limitations? Talking about you, not the people. Now don't focus on that. We have a market niche? Now you take these questions one by one and allow them talk. You allow them talk. Who do we want to become in the long term? A strategy that is short-term based, forget about it, is a waste of time. What do we want to become in the long term? Given what we want to become in the long term, what are the critical things which will make us successful or unsuccessful in achieving this long-term goal? What are our competitive strengths and limitation in each of the critical areas that will determine our competitive effectiveness? My guys are trying to be innovative here, but I think that, can you guys see it? If you can see, just go there and there. I can see it, I can see it, I can see it. You go to the chat room, let me see if I can see it. They're trying to be innovative, which is okay. We don't kill innovation. Just go there and say, I can see it. Guys, go to the chat room, tell me I can see it. Okay, good, fantastic. Thank you. So we can move on. So you guys don't worry, just go on, be creative. This is what we're talking about. Someone is trying to make the things better, you don't shout them down. So, effectiveness, good. Number 6. Number 7, what goals shall we set to improve our competitiveness, effectiveness, and organizational capabilities in each of these critical success areas? Now, I gave you that. We'll send it to you if you want to. You can take a picture of this slide. Those are the questions you ask as beginners when you want to come up with a winning strategy. You must also know the kind of market you want to operate in. What kind of market do you want to operate in? Is it the first tier market, second or fourth, or their fourth, second or third? Have they created the fourth one? I'm not sure. So when you look at all that, I'm trying to get into, in case I'm getting a communication from. Okay, good. So when you look at all that, then you ask yourself, because I'm beginning to look at something that is happening to me right now. It's becoming clear to me that probably when it comes to this my industry, I'm not cut out for tier 3 market. I'm not cut out for tier 3 market. I've tried it. I've tried to venture into that space, but that's always knocked me back. So now it's so glaring to me that in my industry, I think I'm in the tier 1 market. I can come down to tier 2. Tier 1 is the creme de la creme, the premium market, the so-called high net worth market. Because look, it is so easy for me to sell to people at that level than selling to people at tier 3. So easy. Let me give you a typical example. You know, we've been shouting this, what's it called? Business community, join business community, and everything. The number of people that have registered in the so-called $50 program is not comparable, does not even come close to the guys that have registered in the $10,000 program. I mean, $10,000, $50. The number of people who have registered for the $10,000 are more than the people who have registered for the $50,000. Now, I'm not just talking about registration. I'm talking about payment, whether full payment or part payment. The people at the premium market, for me, are more than the people in it. Now, the prospects in the premium market, the number of people that have made promises, written down their names, are even more than the people in the tier 3 market. So what that basically means for me is that enough of my energy, enough of my time should be devoted where I get more results. Am I right? Now, what moved me to the tier 3 market, because I was looking at some so-called competitors. You know, when I say competitors, there are two kinds of competitors. There are complementary competitor and there is consuming competitor. A consuming competitor is not your friend. They want to knock you out of the business. Even the complementary one can still knock you out of the business, but they still have sympathy for you once in a while. He's my friend, you know, and I like him, I love him and everything. But whether they are complementary or consuming, they are still your competitors. But you know, you look at them, oh, they're doing this, let me do it, let me do it. You don't dissipate energy, because by the time you start trying to do every market, trying to go into every market, what you have done is to limit the push of your strategy. So you may be hearing one or two announcements after today. By the time we get into the Q&A session, we'll talk about it, and then we'll let you know that probably some of our programs will probably discontinue, or it will go on and everything. So what I've decided to do based on strategy right now is to make sure that the tier 3 market, anything I do in the tier 3 market is pro bono. It's free. It's charity. It's because I need to be there. I need to be there. So all these things are ongoing concerns. All these things are very fluid. All these things are the questions I'm asking myself so that I can get the best out of my strategies. It's very important for us to know all those things. I think I'll stop here so that I can take questions. The questions will take us deeper and will make me ask a whole lot of, make us be able to rub minds and so many things as we move on. I'm just looking at the time. I think I've done almost 1 hour, if not more than that. So it's very important. Okay, I'll just take questions. Tosin, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Thank you so much for that powerful session. I've been able to take away a couple of things, but I would not have to repeat what Pastor Niyi has said. I believe that a lot of us have also been able to take home quite a number of wisdom nuggets. Please let us engage in the chat section. It's not just for the people who are just joining in, but for even those of us who have participated from the beginning. Also, you can post your questions in the chat area. And for those who would like to ask directly, especially people with their video on, you can head over to the participants area and tap on the raise hand icon, and then you will be unmuted. I have one hand already, DDI Consult, and I will go right ahead to unmute the person. Right, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
DDI Consult, you're unmuted.
Thank you very much. Pastor Niyi, this is a great one. Thank you very much. This Pastor Shegun from Elisha.
Oh, wow, awesome. How are you doing?
I'm great, and just great one. Yeah, I want to ask.
Sorry, before you go on, guys, can you spotlight him, please, so I can see his face? Okay, good, fantastic. Now I see you. Good.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I want to ask that, how do you steer up, because I was hearing you even the last time we were talking about tier 3 markets and all that. How do you steer up demand? How do you create demand in a market that you're operating a market that people have not seen the need for it, but they need it? You can identify the vacuum. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I lead an organization that is into trade. And in my state, I see a lot of gaps. And so one of the things we are trying to do is to steer up. You get a few this thing here and there, but it's not yet at the level that we would have loved. So how do you steer up a market that the demand for the product is not very high? How do you create, you know that the need is there? But let me give you an example. We just did one session for some set of people. And, by the time we finished, they were like, wow, we didn't know we have this need and all of that. But before we could break through, we had to technically as offer it to them free. So how do you break into a terrain that the markets appears?
Okay, good. I'll just say this straight on. How do you make people who have not tasted Coke like Coke? How do you believe people who don't know about Coke? How do you make them love to drink Coca-Cola? Bring Coca-Cola to them. You don't have to put a price tag on the Coca-Cola. Give it to them, let them taste it. Once they taste it once or twice, they want more. And that's the trick. In this part of the world, the speaking business or the training business is not that embraced. It's not that embraced, but you have to take it to them. And that's what they call the funnel marketing principle or so. People come in for free, and they come in for free. They see the marvelous things that you're doing. Wow, their lives have changed. Once their life has changed, you tell them there is more, and you begin to suck them in gradually. There is more, there is more, there is more. Now, once those guys drop in your bucket, everybody will not drop. Some will go off, some will not stay, but some people will drop. Those people who will drop in, you will have to learn how to milk them. Milk them as much as you can. But you can't be milking a cow and not feed the cow, so that the cow can have more milk more stuff to be milked. But the first thing you need to do for somebody who has not taken Coca-Cola before is to give them Coca-Cola to taste. And that's why in your business, in our business, result is very important. Result is very important because people are wondering, this guy talking about the premium tickets. People are paying the premium tickets. People are going with you to Dubai. We have a program in October 9 and 10. 9 to 10, we have Christopher Colladi and Pastor May coming. And then we're going to be in a co-hotel. It's a $2,000 program. That means it's a $1 million program as we move on. Will people come? Watch and see whether they will come or not. Let's watch and see. But I can guarantee you they will come. Why? Because they've tasted it. They see. Now, for us here, for me especially, I don't deal in how will I put it now? The word is failing me, but I don't deal in this bogus kind of feeling for trainers or speakers. The speaker comes and everybody's saying, "Ha! Jeez, that guy blew my head." No, I don't blow your head. I blow your bottom line. I blow your bottom line. Because the kind of money I'm asking from you, your bottom line must be good, it must be increasing, or else you won't come back. If I'm going to ask for 10 naira, 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira, 50,000 naira, I can blow your head. These are the people for the ones that can blow their head. But the people that want to drop 4 million naira, almost 5 million naira now to be $10,000. Yeah, that's 5 million naira. Want to drop 5 million naira for you, for them to be with you, you can't be blowing their head. You have to blow their bottom line. And sometimes we come in for free. We come in with taste and see. Once you taste it, that is like you come into a spider web. Once you get in there, to go out becomes difficult. I remember my very first, I think I've shared it once or twice. I don't know whether it's here. Let me just share it again. My first corporate job. Is it corporate job? Yeah. My first 6-digit paying corporate job was with, no, I can give names that I don't beyond trying to hide names. Was with, what's it called? 7-Up Bottling Company. 7-Up Bottling Company paid me, far back as 2005. They paid me $250,000. Now you need to see how they were pricing me. It was ridiculous. And I had no negotiation skills at all. Just imagine 15 years ago, and I was a novice, no. Especially where I'm coming from. I'm coming from the pastoral field where everything is free. I mean, freely you have received, freely you give. So I'm coming from there. So I'm right now sitting in front of HR, executive director, human resource, and the guy in charge of training, and they are pricing me ridiculously. But I was telling my guys, chill guys, chill, don't worry. They need to test us first. They need to test us. So whatever they throw at us, we'll take. Although we negotiate back and forth. They gave me 250,000 naira. That was their greatest undoing ever. We got in there. Boom. 2.5 hours. You know, they told me before that this job that we're giving you, now imagine how young I will look. You know, I look very young here. I have a baby face, in case you don't know, let me tell you. Just imagine how young I looked there. They're telling me somebody who was doing the job before was an American and blah, blah, this and that and this. So just to probably intimidate us. But we got there, we did a fantastic job. I mean, blown away. Everybody, MD, chairman, everybody blown away. And they were not Nigerians. The MD was not a Nigerian. The CEO was not a Nigerian. Blown away. Australian and then Lebanese, yeah. No, Lebanese, no. I don't know. I can't remember, but Lebanese, all these Middle East people. Blown away. Less than 2 weeks later, they came back. Once they came back, then we started negotiating. Even with that, I didn't even negotiate very well anyways. But the money went up from 250,000 naira to 1 million naira for a 2.5 hour speech. Just talk, nothing else. Cost of production, almost zero, because they flew me to wherever I went to. Now you can see that they didn't see the importance until they tasted it. Yeah. I think our job right now is for us to push it out so that people can taste. Once they taste what you can do, they will definitely come back. I have some guys, my iTicket guys, they keep offering me new stuff. I was with some of them today. That's why probably some of you see that problem. I'm a little bit tired and everything. And then we've been there since yesterday. And then they're offering me new stuff. These are the iTicket guys. They're even saying, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do more of it, we need to do more of that, we need to do more of this. Why? Because they saw value. And how do they see value? Not in your English language, not in your dexterity or your, what's it called, your ability to command English and everything like that to blow their mind. No, they have to see the results. They have to see the bottom line. They must see the money. Somebody is giving you 4-5 million naira. They must see the results. Somebody is going to pay $2,000 to attend your program in a hotel. They must see results, or else they would not come back. So I think that's what we'll do. Make sure that you give your utmost. Now, let me even share some secret with you. Look at Anthony Robbins, this pandemic period. Anthony Robbins did something that is very encouraging and very, very motivating for me. He did a program, I don't know what to call it, like challenge, you know, everybody come free. He had over 350,000 people all over the world. They came for free. I think did about 10 days or 7 days. I can't even remember. So they came for free. Everybody saw it. Hey, Anthony Robbins, and then he's every down. Oh, you guys, I'm having my first virtual meeting, blah, blah, blah. And then he sold tickets from like, is it 350 or 370 to $1,500 or $5,000 program. And guess how many people came? Over 23,000, almost 25,000 people came to that place. Just imagine they even paid $500 each, which is not possible. Then you see, amongst the 25,000 people that came, when it was done with them about 3 or 4 programs, 3 or 4 days or 5 days, then he sold another $10,000 program. I think he just finished it now. $10,000. One of my guys who went there, who was on this second leg, said when he made the call, the people that bought the $10,000 program were more than 10,000 people out of the 23,000. So the strategy is taste and see, and let me see whether you will leave. And the game here is not in rhetorics. The game here is not in rhymes. The game here is not in blowing their head. The game here is result, 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 result. Value for money. What's the value for money for a businessman? Bottom line. I'm sure that helps.
Fantastic. You know, you just did a good job for me.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir, for tackling that question head on. So please, if you have questions and comments or contributions, please go ahead to the chat section. You can drop your question there. I can see some interactive conversations going on there already. Please drop your questions there. Also, you can let us see your face and you can ask your question by tapping the raise hand icon in the participants section. At this point, I just want to quickly mention that you can follow Pastor Niyi Adesanya on his various social media handles.
Okay, I think, is it my line of Tosin went off a bit?
Yeah, I think Tosin went off a bit.
Okay, good. She will be back. But while she's there, let me just mention this for those of us who are around right now. Like I said, we're always trying to work on our strategies, an ongoing thing. Remember, strategy is a soldier in general, moving soldiers through what's it called, the battlefield. Now, based on my findings, I realized that I must conserve energy and I must move into my most important playing field. So my team and I.
Sorry, I apologize.
Okay, don't worry. I'll hand it over to you right now. My team and I have decided to change our game. We announced the business community for almost 2 weeks now. We've got some numbers. Good, fantastic. But this is it. We said $50. $50, fantastic. But by the end of this month, it moves away from $50. By the 1st of September, it moves away from $50 to $500. Don't worry, if you can afford it, my Thursday meeting will still be free. My Saturday meetings will still be free. When anybody wants to come into the community, and we even rebranded it, it's no more business community. It's business professionals community, business professionals. So it's by 1st of September, it is no more $50. It is going to be $500. So you have about 4 days or something to hit that $50 if you're interested. Why? If I have my numbers at tier 1, I think wisdom demands that I stay with them there at tier 1. Then using all my energy at tier 3. I mean, Emmanuel, what do you think? PhD, you go to where the numbers are. Am I right?
Yes, you go to where you're celebrated.
So 1st of September, it moves to $500, which is about 250,000 naira thereabout. So I believe we can do that. And if not, I've gotten some numbers already. I think we are about 10, 11 people. Now that's the irony of life. That just tells you, when you have your data and your numbers, it just tells you where you're supposed to be playing. Re-engineers your strategy for you. Now, if I have more people at the tier 1 market paying me attention, you know, the guys at the tier 1 market, when I say they pay so amount, they actually pay more than that. Because I was with some set of guys today who are in the tier 1. And they're not always understand, you know what? There's coaching. We need to coach all our guys. All the people that you're seeing here, we need to coach them. So we need to talk. Do you remember? Do you realize what that is? That means it's going to extend beyond the $10,000. So that's what we're saying here. I'll still play there, don't get me wrong. Thursday meetings, still fantastic. We'll be here every Thursday, every Saturday. On Saturday, you need to even be part of Saturday. You know why Saturday is very important? You know why Saturday is very important? The topic we're dealing with on Saturday is very, very, very crucial. The supernatural nature of wealth. The supernatural nature of wealth. We had a strategy session with the client yesterday, today, and we'll end tomorrow. The speakers that came, all of them, we were talking about billionaires. One particular one said, we went to a billionaire's house and they sat down. And he said, he normally goes there to eat. Whenever he goes there, it's because of the food. So he was going there. So the guy didn't offer him food. So he was hungry. So he said, where's the food? And he said, the billionaire, multi-billionaire said, no, there's no food yet. We are fasting. And I said, you, a billionaire fasting. Me that I'm still struggling. He said, from that day, every January, from the 2nd of January to the 31st of January, he doesn't do house. No razor touches his head and everything. He said, if a billionaire, multi-billionaire can be fasting, I must fast. When I heard that, I said, wow. I just tapped a friend of mine on Saturday. We have to swing in this direction. So you must realize that there is a principle and there are principles. It's the principle that enforces the principle. Everybody, no matter how highly placed they are, there is an idol in their life. Whether it's God or an idol. You must know it, you must be aware of it. And I think every one of us needs to be there on Saturday. You don't want to miss it. So good. Tosi, over to you, please.
Yes, sir. I have a question in the chat section. Prince, he wants to know this. He says, please, what does the Pastor Nee mean by bottom line? He keeps mentioning bottom line in his presentations. Kindly break it down. Yeah, I think I heard you say bottom line.
Bottom line, the money, as a businessman, your money, the profit, at the end of the day, the results, what's your bottom line? Not just your income, your profit, money. Because I think I teach this when I teach leadership, or when I teach public speaking. Everything you do,
So we're unable to hear you. Someone says
okay.
You're muted. We can't hear you. So you have to back up a little bit, sir. Just what you said in the past 30 seconds thereabouts.
Okay, good. Somebody muted. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now, sir.
Okay, good. So I don't even know what I was saying now.
You were answering what bottom line means, and you said that's the profit of the company.
And then this is the bottom line, the return on investment. You have invested money, what did you get in return? What is the result and everything? And I tell people this as a speaker or as a trainer or somebody in the knowledge industry, whatever you do, people will judge you not just based on your knowledge base. Knowledge has 10% impact on the return on investment. In other words, your good English, your voracious vocabulary, 10%, which is important, don't get me wrong. 40% is how applicable are the things that you taught, the applicability of what you've taught. Very important, but people don't listen to that. They rather be philosophers or be erudite speakers, eloquent, I mean, combining words with words. You need, if you're not inspired, you will inspire. Information is the bedrock of transformation and everything. Now, the question is, how does that add to my bottom line? How does that get me to my destination? So people don't understand that. Now, whatever you teach, people must be able to apply it. Because if they cannot apply it, you cannot get to the second 50%. Remember, knowledge is 10, applicability, application is 40, and then the bottom line, the result, the tangible result, the tangible things that we can see, that is 50%. 50%. So I actually go for 90% as much as I can. So when I speak, when I do stuff, you hardly see me use some bogus words, some mind-blowing words. Don't get me wrong, I blow people's minds. People say, wow, that's awesome, that's magnificent. But that's not my goal. My goal is not to blow your mind. My goal is to give you stuff that you can apply. Because until you can apply what I teach, then we can't get a good ROI. The bottom line cannot come out well. So you must be able to apply it. After you apply it, then I can get my 50%. Do you understand? So that is it. So the most important thing for a business, if you're speaking to university students, it's okay. You can blow grammar, you can blow some nice words combining together here and there, let them laugh, let them do everything. You can do all that. But when you're dealing with businessmen, I'm not talking about startups. I'm not talking about people who are trying to get themselves together. People who just register the company and they're trying to look for 100,000 naira contract or 1 million naira contract. We're talking about people who are already raking in millions, multi-millions, hundreds of millions of naira, thousands of dollars. When you're dealing with them, the only language they understand is results. And the way they measure their results is return on investment, the bottom line, the profits. That is where they measure. That's what I mean when I say bottom line, profit, money, result, result, result. Anything you do, result is the game. Result is the game.
Thank you very much, sir. I hope that answers your question, Prince. Okay, before I take the second question we have on the chat room, I'm going to unmute Bennett now so that he can ask his question. You're unmuted, Bennett.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Great.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, actually, it's not really a question, but you know, when Pastor Nee is, whenever he, you know, like he kept like telling people about this business stuff. He want to start by September, so I just feel like, you know, people shouldn't be like, you know, forcing, or maybe they should know what they want. This thing is something that I see that is very, very important for everybody. And like me, this is my, I know Pastor Nee for like, this is like 4 weeks now. And these 4 weeks, I will say that a lot of things have changed in my life. You know, I cannot stop thinking about him. You know, like whenever I'm at job, you know, I think about him. You know, like think about everything he has been teaching me. I was like, so what if I didn't meet this man? You know, sometimes there is a place you will stay. Nobody don't need to stay. You know, you don't have to anyone to say to you that this is the right place, you know, you are. So I'm encouraging everybody to participate, you know, like this 1 month have changed my life. And, you know, like on Sunday, I'm in a business sanctum with Pastor Nei, and something happens to me, like, you know, like, my wife started having this serious pain in her stomach, like with nobody knows, you know. But because of, you know, like this meeting we are, it's so important to me. Like, you know, what this Mr. Clement was sharing with us is so important that I could not even want to like leave. So, but on the way, I see like I saw her like the way she was riding in the front floor here. I was like, okay, can we go to hospital? She said yes, that she cannot. You know, so I now post my video and I dressed up and I pick up. You know, I drove her with my kids. We're on our way to hospital, and I asked a question. You know, my spirit like, let me ask this question. So in the process asking this question, I said to Pastor, I'm hearing you guys, but you know, I'm on my way to hospital in emergency. Pastor said, okay, just Bennett, just do like this. Touch your wife anywhere you can, your hand can reach. Just hold her hand, yeah, that she wants to pray. And Pastor Nei started this prayer, you know, like, it's like a magic for me. He started this prayer. He prayed like around 2-3 minutes, and he said he's done. I said amen. I just believe. My wife said amen too, because my wife can hear his voice too. On our way getting to hospital, you know, my wife now went inside the emergency room. They took her in. Before I know, so I parked outside because of this virus. I cannot go inside with my kid. So we were waiting there for like 2 minutes. She called me again that everything has gone, that everything has disappeared, that she cannot stay. Like, let us go home. I was like, what? You have been here for like 2 hours, like screaming. And I said to you, it will stop, it will stop. I need it. So it sounds like a magic, you know. So, and I drove her back in that night, on that Sunday night. So we came back home around 11 o'clock, 11 p.m. So since then till now, no pain, nothing, you know, like she's like, so I was like, wow. And the funny part of it is like, that night I wrote to Pastor Nei on his WhatsApp. I wrote to Pastor Nei, and I saw that he read this. Pastor Nei didn't even bother to say to me, thank God, you know, like, I was like, what kind of faith this man has, you know? So, you know, and I kept, and I said to my wife, you know, this man didn't even like reply to this mail. Like, that shows me that Pastor Nei knows what he's doing. Pastor Nei knows the God he's serving. So I was like, wow. Because when he said that prayer, he meant it. And the God answered so fast. Like, I was like, God, thank God that, you know, I know Pastor Nei. So this is like a little bit testimony for me. So, and I said that I must share it tonight with everybody. So it's like a part of encouragement for those that like doubting, should I, you know, continue or not? You know, I will encourage you to, you know, participate. In fact, I will say, if I'm just doing it as a challenge, if you are here and you just know within you that you don't have this
No. Bennett, don't do that. Don't sponsor anybody. Don't sponsor anybody.
Okay, sir.
Let them stretch.
I want to sponsor, sir.
No, don't sponsor anybody.
Okay,
don't sponsor
sir.
Anybody. I want you to keep your money. This is it. If you sponsor, it will not be, I'm not sure to be good for the people that you sponsor.
Yeah, maybe some people want, but they don't have. they look
Don't
quit.
worry, they will stay. We will still keep our Thursday meeting going. We'll keep our
Okay,
Saturday
sir.
meeting going so they can still be part of that.
Okay, sir.
So
So thank you
this
very
is
much,
not.
sir. You are a blessing to me and my family, and I appreciate everything. I appreciate everything, and I say that may God continue to bless you. Your teaching tonight was wonderful, and I appreciate everything. So thank you. Let's continue.
Thank you, thank you. I think we give all the glory to God. We give all the glory to Jesus for that. Definitely, it's God, not me. God. I didn't even know what came on me, and I mean, he asked the question somebody was going to answer. I said, before you answer, let us pray, and then it happened. But this is not a church gathering, but we're all Christians, so God pops in. God is here already, so he comes in once in a while to do whatever he wants to do. So all the glory to God. And the reason why I stopped Bennett from sponsoring anybody is because this is not. I'm not into playing games. I don't want to play games. I don't want to drag people. I've dragged people along almost all my life. I mean, created platforms for people to come and everything. And I think one way or the other, it could have slowed me down. I'm not saying this slowed me down. It could have slowed me down. So this is the analogy. When you're pushing something, when you're pushing and pulling people, you don't push to the limit. You don't push faster. Because you're pulling and pushing, you're being slowed down. There's the second scenario that you're pushing and the person is at least walking along. There's the third scenario that you're pushing and the person is pushing with you. Now, this third scenario makes things go faster because we're both pushing. That's the people I want to come into the community. Let's push together. Now, it's not about the funds, it's not about the money, it's about, let's just take a step higher. Let's share something, because I realize that some of my speakers that don't want to express their mind. You were with us on Sunday, you were with us 2 Sundays ago. The kind of things that you learned there is mind-boggling. There's some secret those guys shared that they can't share it on the general platform.
No. He said that.
So that's why we created that kind of forum, so that to be people. And again, when you speak, you want people that can pick up what you said and run with it. Pick it up and run with it. So that's the reason why. Like I said, by September 1st, the thing goes to $500. And I'm not batting an eye about it. I'll just keep my numbers the way it is. I'll still keep I know some people may not be able to afford it. That is why every Thursday, every Saturday, we'll still be talking to people. We'll still be giving them stuff like we're giving them here. And then even we introduced one, 5 p.m. every Thursday. We didn't do today because I was so tired. I was so tired today. I didn't even. Sorry, let me apologize to everybody who were trying to check in on us.
You're wondering.
I was so tired. I had to tell Femi George that, look, let's do it some other time. I had to just come up here and do this. And then after this, now I'm still going back to the, to the retreat, the boot camp for my client tomorrow. I'll be there all day. I have 3 presentations on Saturday on Zoom, Sunday free, Monday good. So it's getting busy more and more for me. So it has to be, if I'm going to give an extra time, it has to be people who value it, people who want it. So that's why we're jacking it up. And you see, watch the space. Once it gets to September 1st and we move it to 500, you will see I will get more people than I have right now. I'll get more people that have registered for the $50. Watch the space. I'll get more people. Sometimes what you say It's only people at a particular level that can actually really understand. But like I said, anything I do at the top tier market right now is pro bono, is free, is everything. That's why Thursday and Saturday will always be free for everybody. Thank you for offering to help, eh?
Okay.
Well, put the money together and come for October 9 and 10. You can watch it through Zoom. Don't worry, you can stay in Sweden and you watch it through Zoom. That program is going to be something else. Imagine a Dr. Christopher Kola, the 80-year-old man with over 50 years experience in corporate Nigeria. Over 50 years of experience in corporate Nigeria, combined with Professor Patutomi, one of the founders of Lagos Business School, the foremost business school in Nigeria. Just imagine those two guys in a retreat, more or less with you, from 1 p.m. on Friday to 1 p.m. on Saturday. We will sleep, but we'll be there. We'll come back the next morning and we'll continue. And then we're still looking at other guests that will join us there. Just imagine what that can do to an individual, to a business. You have like almost 80 years experience in that room. And we're trying to build companies for people that can last 100 years, 50 years, and 100 years. That's the kind of game I want to play. That is the space I want to be. Do you understand? So you have to be able to push yourself to get into that space so that we can move together. So thank you. I would rather you put those things together and come to October. Don't worry. The Thursday program and the Saturday program will be good for everybody. Thank you, Bennett. There's a hand up.
Yes, sir. Before we take Ubehe's question, there's a question from Taiwan, the group chat, and he is asking what third-tier marketing means.
So third-tier market is the mass market. You have tier one, which is the high net worth individual. Let me just use cars to explain. That's the Bentley, the Ferraris, the Mercedes-Benz. And then tier two is like middle class. You have more people in the tier two. And then the tier three is the mass. That's where you have Hyundai, all those other cars, Japanese cars and everything. So that's for the mass market. That's tier three, mass market. You don't charge, that's where you look for numbers. And interestingly, I don't have numbers. What I mean by numbers, I don't have that huge, large number of following. So probably that's why I'm not able to get so much out of that market. I would rather trade at tier one and then come and pick once in a while at tier two. So that's that about tier three.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Taiwo, I hope that answers your question. I'm going to go ahead to unmute Ubehe now. I'm sorry if I've not pronounced it correctly. I can be corrected. You are unmuted now. Please speak.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Pastor Nei. I think this is one of my first time for speaking on the platform. I've been one of the first time joining us from May.
Sorry, can you guys spotlight him, please? Let me see his face. Okay, you can go.
Partaking in the Thursday and Saturday sessions, and I've really learned a lot. I have a diary here where I take note of everything, and I go back again to look at it. I just want to add my voice in appreciating Pastor Nei. I'm one of the kind of people that I like to be objective, and I've been following, I've been practicing the things that he has said. And today I had a presentation in my office. If you can see, I'm looking all beardy and hair. I've been on quarantine for about 2 weeks now. So we came out yesterday. So I came out to meet some work on my desk. Presentation we're doing today, management meeting, and I quickly put all my work together yesterday, and I delivered my presentation today. One of the managers called me and said, okay, you're doing very well. What's the secret? Your presentation today was fantastic. And that was not it all. 2 weeks ago, I anchored a particular program. This is not what I've done before, but just, watching Pastor Nii doing this in the hunger also to perform, to deliver, came on me, and there's a oil and gas conference I was had about pipeline, which is my industry. And I delivered in that prayer. I mean, my heart was aching, like he said, courage is not where there's no fear. He said, when there's fear, but you match up. A few hours before, I had to do the presentation in front of my kids and all. They were saying, Daddy, go, you can do it, And I saw Nii and I saw all of you there, trying to represent this past where I've been part of it. And I delivered so many accolades from friends. Till tomorrow, I keep still getting emails. Can we have that presentation and all of that? So Pastor Nii is delivering continually. And I'm glad to be a part of this. I delivered on that presentation. I delivered again today. Just watching Thursdays and Saturdays. I've not paid for anything. Yeah, I have your book. I got this book sometime when we came to Echo Hotels in last year, sponsored by my company. That was where I got to meet Nii, and I've been following all the way. I think now I'll be radical about it. And I think I've gained a lot. Pastor Nii, thank you, and all of us out there. Let's like Bennett said, let's all join the bandwagon. If there's any class that we can pay for, join it. Put something extra. I'm sure it will pay off, like it paid off for me. Thank you, Pastor Nii, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that endorsement. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's always good to know that once what one is teaching, people are utilizing and working for them. And then that reminds me, raising up that book, this next month, I'm releasing two new books, one on leadership, the other one on the marketplace dominance, and then your leadership starts here. So watch out for it. So there will be a pre-order, and then we'll do a book launch very soon. So two new books, already written, designed. What kept it for that long is that I was trying to get a front page, a good front page for a cover page. But I didn't get the kind of cover page I wanted. But I think we can always change cover page after 1 or 2 years and everything. The book just needs to be out. So watch out for that also. Your leadership starts here. And then the other one is a weekly diary or weekly quote, we call it peels, weekly peel for marketplace dominance. How do you dominate your market? So it's important for us to start noting that. Watch out for those adverts as they hit the market. Please, you have to start making your own pre-order that the book can quickly get to you. Good. Tosin, over to you.
Okay. Have any question? But I'd just like to remind us all that we should follow Pastor Nii Adesanya. I like to call him a priestly king. I'm going to explain that on another platform when I have the opportunity. So do well to follow him, especially on Instagram. One thing I like about him is that he always has something up his sleeves. There's a video on his feed that I think all business owners on this platform should go and find on his platform on Instagram. It's something about reputational leadership, and I want you to watch that video. And Adesanya on Instagram. Follow him on Facebook as well, N Adesanya, on Twitter, N Adesanya, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you get all the updates from him day by day as much as you can. Our time is fast spent, but Pastor Nii would like you to, can you still hear me? Please bring down the volume of the music. Thank you. We'd like to have the final shot from you before we go. But before then, sir, please, there's going to be a feedback form. Link is going to be dropped on the chat section. So please, if you have not even told us where you are chatting from, it's okay. Just go ahead to fill that form right now. It's going to take a couple of seconds for you to complete it, and let us have your view about the time you have spent with us today. Please do that quickly before we finally round up, and as Pastor Nii gives us his final shot.
Okay, so Lou is asking a question. What is
Yes, she's asking about speaker's view.
I need to understand that before I go. Speakers
Okay.
view.
Madam Tolu, please, could you be more explicit? And we still have one hand on the. So which do we take first? Madam Tolu, would you like to speak? You are unmuted.
It's not a question. I mean, when the speakers view for Zoom, that's what I'm saying. You know, do you understand what I mean?
Okay,
Yeah.
now we get it. Get it. Thank you, Tolu. Thank you. Thank you. Do you want to take Bola Daniel? Bola Daniel, do you have a question?
Yes, sir. Mr. Bola, you're unmuted now. Please go ahead to speak.
Oh, no, I do not have a question. Thank you very much.
Okay, good. So guys, strategy is everything. You must be on top of your game. For you to be on top of your game, you must, every now and then, you must come up with a lot of strategies to win. And then it depends on the quality of your team, depend on the quality of your personality as an individual also. That's why you need to take note of all the things that we've taught. There is no teaching that is isolated from others. Remember, we said game changers. You can't just have one. Okay, I have a good strategy. But the question is, are you an outstanding performer? Oh yeah, I'm a performer. What have you done about your network? Oh, I have network. Are you visible within that network? So all those things are the things that you have to put together. And you have to work on all those things almost on a daily basis for you to stand out. It's not just one part of it, it's everything together. So we'll still continue in September. We'll try and deal with probably the other one with just one Thursday. But we'll talk about visibility and what again, standard, raising your standard. Well, standard is so strict. Always raise the game. Always raise your productivity. Always look at your service. What can you add to it? How can you make it better? And that's how to beat competition. Because you're looking at your product and saying, how can we beat this product? What can we do to make this product more powerful? Because you know what? It's in the midst of standards that you can raise your standard. When you have created a standard, then you can raise it. How did I come to the point where I can charge people this huge amount? Not huge, this small amount that I'm charging. It happened when I raised my game in a co-hotel. We had a program called the Leadership Bootcamp. And for your information, we're going to have the next Leadership Bootcamp in November. We don't fix the date yet, but I think November 21st and 22nd, 21st, 20th and 21st, 20th and 21st, the third weekend in November. And we're going to have the boot camp. I raised the game there. It was a wow effect, wow effect. So when I made the call for people who want to go further, we had people rushing there who were ready to pay. At that time, it was a discount of 1.1 million, so they paid 2.5 million now to be part of that program. The people who were at the program, other people paid 3.6 based on the exchange rate of Nigeria. And then that was the beginning. Why did that happen? Because I raised the standard. And every now and then, I'm trying to raise the standard. You realize that when we started all this, those of you who have been joining us for a long time, we started this, and then we started from phone. From phone, we moved into another phase, and then we renovated a lot of places in the office. After a while, we moved downstairs. We converted our training room into our studio. We have TVs all around. We have a backdrop, and we're also trying to work on an 8 by 5 feet LED screen, which we're still working on. And all those things we're bringing it because we're trying to raise the standard. And then one thing I realized that as we raised the standard, we started getting people's attention at that standard that we got to. As we raised it, we got the attention of people at that place. So what we need to do is to keep raising it and keep raising it and to stay visible. Like I said, it's game changers. It is not a game changer. Game changers. All those things must be implemented. That is why if you are not part of, if you don't have access to our digital library, you need to go get your hands on those things. I think it's about 27,000 there to get access into the digital library for 90 days, for 90 days. So you listen to all the things that were taught, all the guests that have been here, Gabriel Ubeche, Dr. Christopher Kolade, Professor Pat told me. I mean, I was with him today, but I see I've never had him before. I was with Samson David, many of us know him. Samson David was with us at the retreat till 10:30, 11 p.m. yesterday. Just imagine. And then we woke up this morning again to now get Professor Pat. All these people's teaching are there in the library. Sam Adeyemi, all the teachings are there that he has done for me. We're all there. So get there, listen to it, and combine all these forces so that you can win in the marketplace. We are winning. We will continue to win. We've been winning for over 15 years right now. At a point in time, I could boldly say that when it comes to the Nigerian market, I was probably the highest paid speaker or one of the best paid speakers in Nigeria. I do that just to create a balance. But by my knowledge, if somebody earned more than me a paycheck, the person only earned it once. But if it's more about consistency, nobody in this part of the country can say consistently over 70 times, over 80 times to earn the same figure. Never, not in my country. And then going from there, from doing one of the highest paid speaker, after the highest paid speaker in Nigeria, then I moved into one of the highest paid coaches, if not the highest paid coach. Now, not just that, my program has the highest ticket, most expensive ticket, one of the most expensive tickets in Nigeria. When you have a program that people pay you $3,000 to attend, $2,000 to attend, that is about the highest, most expensive knowledge-based event in Nigeria. Now you can see that consistently from 2005, there's just something high, this, most expensive this, most expensive that. And then when you look at my background, you realize that I'm not supposed to be on this game. I'm not supposed to be on this platform. I'm not supposed to be pulling the kind of things that I'm pulling right now. Considering my background, considering my family background, and you realize that this is not the guy who's supposed to be doing this. But I'm doing this because of what I've learned. I'm doing this because of what I've taught you in the last 1 month. I'm doing it because I understand the game changers. And that's what we've brought to you. Hopefully, by the grace of God, we'll turn this into a book. Yeah, Game Changers, very soon. And then it becomes a book that everybody can read. And probably as time goes on, we'll turn it into a program also. Because that's one thing about me. I milk everything I do. So you guys get into the digital library and get to understand so many things that can change your life, whether as an employee or an employer. It will change your life. And again, you have till 31st of August to be to enjoy the $50 for the community. 31st of August. After that, it goes to $500. You know why I won't reduce it? Because my people say you will still reduce it. You know why I won't reduce it? You know why I won't reduce it? You know why? Because I would take comfort in the fact that Thursday is free, Saturday is free. Once I have Thursday and Saturday that is free. So if you can't pay 500, just stay with me on Thursday and Saturday. But September 4th is most there. And I'm not doing it as a bragging right, but I'm just doing it to make sure that I don't stay too long in a place. I only go with people who are ready to run with me, run with me. Guys, know this, 500 compared to 10,000 they don't match. They don't move close. We were doing this for us to be able to move some people from that tier 2 and move them into tier 1 based on our industry. So guys, please, the game changer, get into the digital library, buy the C stuff that you are buying access for 90 days. So you can consume as many as you can. But let me tell you this, you can't even consume everything in that digital library. It's not just about our webinars, it's not about our conferences, our boot camp, the 2 boot camps that we've had, 2018 and 2019, you get it there. What's this man's name now? Brindle, Mukhtar Brindle, everyone is there. So go in there, get it, and then please join the business community, business professional community. You don't want to miss it. We have so many things lined up. You want to be part of it. And if you're strong enough, join Sancta. If you are stronger, come to Think Tank. Think Tank is a place to be. Think Tank, we're in the hotel 9th and 10th, Dr. Christopher Collody, Professor Pastor. And in March, we're going to be in Dubai. Once you pay that, you don't pay. See, once you pay for the Think Tank, you don't even pay for anything again that the Adesanya does for the next 6 months. Anything it does, you have free access into it. You just come in free. So you need to be there. And please, everybody on this platform also, you need to be planning to go with us to Dubai. Planning to go with us. March. Start planning. Start putting the money aside. That's saving it now. We're going to Dubai March, by the grace of God. We're having a program that we call the International Speakers Convention. It's happening in Dubai in the month of March. And also, if you're a pastor, we also have what we call the Think Tank for Pastors. Think Tank for Pastors. We had over, how many people do we have? You need to throw me the numbers now. The people who are Think Tank for Pastors. How many numbers? We have pastors from all over the world. So we're going to have those ones also. We start with the business, we go to pastor, then we'll take a break 2 days, then we'll do the International Speakers Convention. You don't want to miss it. So we're giving you heads up, 6 months notice. Yeah, 6 months notice. Start putting some money aside. Get to the mark. It will change the way you think, I can guarantee you. So that's my parting shot. Finally, please don't forget this. Don't forget this. Saturday, I beg you, invite your friends, enemy, your brothers. Let them come on Saturday. Let them come and learn the supernatural means of nature of wealth. Please, I beg you, I beg you. It's more than the principles. It's more about understanding the principle. On understanding how to maneuver and get things done supernaturally. Everybody knows that. Now, with my encounter yesterday and today at the retreat, I realized that I'm not pushing my strategy very well because I've not been very strong when it comes to the things of the supernatural. I know Bennett will be surprised that I'm saying this. I'm not very strong yet. I'm not pushing it very hard when it comes to the things of the supernatural. What happened to him on Sunday? And I tell you, I'm not. So I need to double up in that area. What I had yesterday and today from our facilitators, I think I can do more. So that's why I'm putting up. I had to call that guy today, our facilitator. Bless him. I had to call him up today. You need to be with me on Saturday. This is the dimension I want my people to know. And then one thing about him is that he's the head of the prayer unit of my church, Daystar Christian Center. And he's also a successful businessman. Powerful combination. I didn't tap a pastor. A pastor knows about the supernatural, but you don't know about the business, it's a different ballgame entirely. So when you have somebody who knows about the supernatural and who has handled money, that's the best guy to talk to us. So on Saturday, please join us. And then when we share all the link, share it to as many of your friends. Let them know that something is happening on Saturday, 7 p.m., 7 p.m. And also, if you look at my Instagram handle, then you look at everything, then you see that there's some programs I'm going to be part of. Also, you can join that also. There's a particular one that is happening in Manchester, first, what's it called? This Saturday, 1 p.m. My father's house, Manchester. I'm talking to women. God help me, I need prayers. I'm talking to women in that. So listen, what do I have to say to women? So it's a women's program. So join me 1 p.m. Men, you can join also, so that when they are bombarding me, say no, that's not how we think. Let's get in there 1 p.m. Just go to my timeline. You get all those details. And I think I'll be with Redeemed Church also, a Redeemed Church 6 p.m. on Saturday. Also on Zoom, so you can get all the details there. Finally, let me say a big thank you to Tosin. Tosin, thank you for a job well done. I'm proud of you. And also, I want to say a big thank you also to Ifeanyi, Emmanuel, my guy. You know I love you so much. And also to the people at the back office. At the back, no, I'm the one shining, but there's some people at the back. And Kenny, Michael, Joshua, Samuel, thank you. And also to our madam that makes sure that everything moves, money moves in the right direction, and then money does not move in the wrong direction. Juliet, thank you so much for what you do. We appreciate you. You make everything go well. And for everybody who has been joining us ever since, thank you so much. We will not relent. We'll do more of this. More will happen. But this is it. The only way you can tell me thank you for tonight is that once music drops, all of you have to dance. And watch it. Give me music. Some people already dance without music. Am I the one?
Okay, you're the one not hearing the music. There's always music in my heart.
Thank you, guys.
Mastercraft on the beat.
I'm watching. I can see all of you. Taiwo, Sarah, the videos are on.
Every day na party, every day na jolly. Oh, you move your body. No time for story. Where my woman? We supposed to the party. No time to check time. Everybody.
So many, thank you, Jared.
Oh, your mama, oh, your sister, oh, my baby.
Are you ready? Yeah, I can see you.
Oh, your mama, oh, your sister, oh, my baby. Time to party.
Shakity, I like it when you do sharp. Back it, I like.
Are you ready? I'm owing you a gift, am I right?
My yo-yo, changu changama. My yo-yo, wasije kudanganya. The way you wanna roll it, not take on my heart. And I can't control it, not take on my heart.
Oh, your mama, oh, your sister, oh, my baby. Time to party. Oh, your mama, oh, your sister, oh, my baby. Time to party. Girl, your body, sweetie, sweetie. And your fine face, pretty, pretty. Where you are, you be naughty.
Thank you, guys.
Aliko dey here. You're supposed to throw it. Adenuga dey here.
Somebody is telling us to stand up and dance, but he's not dancing. He's not even standing up.
Too much money. Follow your leader one two. Everybody say, oh, your sister.
David Lasanga, I can see you.
Time to party.
Enjoy
I love your daughter.
with Fidelity Instant Bank.
Hey, my favorite.
Yeah, somebody else. Mr. James, you. Plenty people done the ask. Now which Baba do the jazz? Shady Baba do well for me. I'm a life in Jamaica. Not because I suffer fast. Not because I pray and fast. No be your show, no be jazz. I'm watching. Hey, Osinachi. I'm no qua. One name, Osinachi. I'm watching. Osinachi, mama. Osinachi, Osinachi, my humble father, Sinachi. My loving daughter, Sinachi mo. My baby mama, Sinachi. Dele Momodu, Sinachi mo. No be by force to go Dubai. I've been waiting cause to fight. In a just day my own they laugh, yeah. Because you got the day my side. They want to take away my favor. They want to spoil in my career. And I know say I get the flavor. You fit taxi in Abanya. I forgive and I forget. Baba God he knows the best. My papa just buy his jet. I'm about to take off everywhere. Osinachi, Namnukwa, Osinachi, Maneman, Osinachi, Apache, Osinachi, Mama, Osinachi, Tabife, Osinachi, I go name my first daughter, Sinachi. My loving mother, Sinachi. Promotion letter, Sinachi. Iyawomi, Sinachi. Now we shutting down Malaysia. Every show the boy they conquer. Thank you Lord, you showed me love. Now I know I'm not alone. I go sing praises from house to church. I go throw party for every town. See my motto, see my mouth. Tell me why I no go shout. Not because I suffer past. Not because I pray a fast. Not be your show, not be jazz. Apache, Osinachi, Namnukwa, Osinachi, Maneman, Osinachi, Apache, Osinachi, Mama, Osinachi, Tabife, Osinachi, Apache.
Oh, Papa, thank you. Yemi alade, sala popote, chineke na gode. Person where hustle supposed to drop, it's supposed to pop, it's supposed to chill. Person where walk supposed to dance, it's supposed to rock, it's supposed to flex. But don't you forget, yo, say no be by might, yo, always be thankful. Oluwana go de, brother no be crime, yo, to spend your money, but always be thankful. Makaifa di go mao, even if you no get yo, never forget to say bye, thank you. Oluwana go de, and if you to get yo. Dr. Dollar Entertainment.
Reading Makula, yo.
Nane Madanagi.